Okay, so this option is something we have to go to when there's a problem that's too difficult to solve by brute force. So if we have a brute force problem and it's a big problem, it might take too long to solve, and too long, by too long, I mean it could take years even with a computer to solve. So it would be a very large problem and something that we couldn't solve in a given decent amount of time. So again, let's go back to the idea of our route planner. So if we're starting at Leicester and we want to get to London, then to explore all the routes, we might have to try going to York, and from York we might go to Glasgow, we might come back to Luton and then to London. It's very simplified, obviously, and we could record that time and the distance, and that would be one route. And if we were doing a brute force attack, that would be the kind of thing that we might do. We might look at all of those routes. However, if we're doing a more heuristic method, then we might discount the routes that go north. So routes that go north we might discount, and we might just go south. And obviously there's still lots of south routes that we could take. So we might have to come up with another solution as well. And maybe if we know the distance between Leicester and London, and we say that it's about 100 miles, and it doesn't have to be exact, then if we start off on one of these routes and we haven't arrived at London and we get over, say, 70 or 80 miles, then we might discount that particular route because we've not got any closer to it. So we could measure the distance again between it. So a heuristic method is just a method where we don't just use the computer in a dumb fashion, because computers are dumb, so they only do what we tell them to do and what we program them to do. So instead of using just the dumb processing power of the computer, we apply a method of reasoning. So reasoning, or common sense, if you like, and the way that humans can think about things where computers can't think. So to the computer, every route from Leicester is a route. To us, it would be crazy to go up towards York in order to get to London, because we know the general direction that London is, and we know that going that way would be going in the wrong direction. The computer doesn't know that unless we tell it. And if we tell it, then it won't use that route anymore, and it can become faster at finding the route. And this is basically the way that satellite navigators work. They've got an algorithm that does find routes, but it doesn't always find the very best route. And it doesn't always find the very best route because in order to find the absolute very best route, every single route would have to be tried, and it would take you several hours or several weeks to find the route, which in a satellite navigator wouldn't really be very good. So that's a heuristic method.